Welcome everyone. Just a little video on developing two-point perspective, kind of rapid viz, and then also leading into kind of more finalized perspective using a grid. Now what I want to show you guys is here's a floor plan, right? You're gonna have your own floor plan to develop, and I want to look at this space here, right? This bedroom, and I'm gonna make it a 2-point. So the first thing you have to address is where you're going to be standing, what is the back wall that you're going to look at, and then what should you be seeing in your perspective. So I'm going to be standing, like say right here, and I'm going to be looking into this back wall right here. So my 2-point, I should see this wall and this wall, right? So it'll be like this. It'll be this wall and this wall. So in terms of a rapid viz approach, I want to go to this page right now, right here, is I'm going to say there's my point. Right? Actually, I'm gonna put it down here so you can see it. Let me add my scale figure. Somebody here, somebody here, somebody here. Right? Just so we can have scale, right? And then I'm gonna say, remember, I'm gonna say there's a back wall right here, that wall and that wall. So that's the wall. That's at 5 feet. This room is 10 feet tall. Right? Maybe you can make it a little taller, 12 feet. There you go. That's a horizon line. Right? And I'm going to create a point here. I'll do one here and one here. That will be my right vanishing point and my left vanishing point. Right. And what all I'm going to do is extend now. Right. Just extend from here. From here, kind of extend this line out this way. Right. And extend. Let's say that was it. This line out this way. Right. Same thing with this. Right. And then extend this here. Now this is rapid viz, that's why I'm doing it freehand. You guys see it? Now remember, what I'm looking at is that and that wall. This wall, this wall. So this wall would be this one would be this one with all the windows, right? And the bed's right here, and there's a chair right here. So I'll be seeing that furniture. Bed, nightstand, some plant here, and then that kind of chair sitting area there. So now one of the things that I do for proportion purposes is if I know this is 12 feet tall, I said, and I use that same dimension, I'm just gonna say 12 feet is that right here, from here to here. Right, I'm gonna move that down. I'm gonna say that's 12 feet down here. Right, I'm gonna move this on like this. Just to do these lines. So from here to here, it's 12 feet. Right? That's 12 feet right there from here to here. This room is basically like 16 feet wide and 18 feet wide that way. So this is going to be a little bit further out. And I'm talking about this wall right here. Right? That's from here to here is 16. So I'm thinking about this as I'm drawing. So that's going to go out like to around here, not there. That's probably where the bed's going to end. Right here with a nightstand. Right, and then this wall would probably end. This is even further because that's like 16 right here. That's like 18 over here. Sorry, 16 here and then 18 here. So this is 12, right? Because I made that line, and then that'll be like 18 here. But we're not gonna see this wall anyways. But we're just to see how big the space is gonna look like. So let's start this now. Remember what we have here. All right, the furniture, the bed, and let's start with that main piece. And again, just like I did with the 1-point, I like to put the objects on the floor first, right? So I've kind of managed it. I think the bed's going to be this wide right here, right? Using the vanishing point, right? That's how wide the bed's going to be. It's going to come out. That's 12 feet. We know the bed's not 12 feet wide. It's probably like 6 feet, right? So it's half that. So use that, bring that line through here, and that would be kind of the bed. And then the nightstands, right, would be like right around here against the wall. Now here I'm using this vanishing point and then this one to create that. Right, that's on the floor. And then there's a bench right in front of the bed right here. Again, I'm using the vanishing point on the floor just so you can see it. And there was this chair that was angled, slightly angled. I'm just gonna put it straight for now, right? And that was at that point, yeah, like this much space, and it's right here. And I'm gonna use this and bring that out. It's probably gonna be a little bit bigger. And there was an ornament piece to that. Okay, so there you see the objects on the floor. I haven't put anything on the walls yet. I just want to bring the objects first because that's going to create the space. So now you decide what type of bed you're doing, right? Is it a modern bed, or does it have posts, right? What type of bed are you using and how you address it? Now, remember that what you draw in the front is going to cover what's in the back. But in this case, really, the bed's the main focus, right? I can also make the nightstand in terms of height first here maybe, and then the bed, just to make sure I don't go over it, even as a rapid viz. So this is, if there's a person standing right here, right next to the nightstand, how tall will the nightstand be, right? It's going to be up to your chest. It's going to be by your shins, by your knees, or kind of in between your thighs. So we'll give it that height right there. That's the height that I'm giving it. Again, I'm going toward the vanishing points, guys. Right, and so that's the dresser nightstand, and you can give whatever design you want on that. Let's talk about this object here. That's a bench, so it's gonna probably be like this tall right here. Right, I'm extending things out. Right. Again, I'll put some details on later on, but I can just do this. Maybe it's tufted. Even a quick stitch just by doing this, you get some. And then you can change the legs. You can make that round. You can have detail on it. Now, what about the bed? It's a platform bed. Does it have legs? Well, you're gonna decide that. You're the designer. I'm gonna say it is a platform bed. This is gonna be the height of it. But you can see the bed itself is gonna be a little taller here. Right. And I'm just gonna do this here, right here, just to get. This is gonna go this way right here. That's kind of the height of the bed right there. And that's the foot of it right there. Now, just to see the height, you know, it's not the tallest bed. There is a, let's do a headboard over here. Right, the headboard's tall. It's taller than the people. Right, see? And let's give it some thickness. Right? And let's say the headboard is divided into panels. 4 panels. And inside of each of these are like leather panels. Right, see, that's what I'm doing here. I'm just doing that detail because it's gonna make it easier for you to understand what's happening in the space. Now, I don't want to take 5 hours to do this. It should be. This is quick for me to see kind of what the space looks like. And of course, there'll be pillows, right? I don't know how you guys want to put your pillows. Happening here. Right, and maybe this is a comforter hanging over here. Right, and that's kind of what you begin to see. Now let's add the other nightstand over here. It's going to be that same height, going to the vanishing point, and here, here, here. And you can see some of it, but not all of it. There'll be, I'm going to make this nightstand a little bit bigger here. And then there was a light fixture. Let's say it's a really exaggerated tall light fixture. Right? That's what you see happening there. Let's go back to this object over here. Let's move this up. If I stand right here, right, how tall is that chair gonna be when I sit down? It'll probably be that height here, right? And I'm building up the chair itself. Here's the back of it. This is a nice comfy chair with arms. Now you're gonna see it. See it there? And then here is the ottoman. Right? There relates to that. Again, a quick sketch of what that looks like. Now that's just the objects. Let me now begin to just quickly detail the space and how this would work. There was 3 windows here, a side table, kind of a plant here. I don't know if I'm gonna put the plant there, but I'll just put this side table here. All right, maybe there was another one here. Maybe it's kind of an area where you can put your drink or your coffee. And there was those 3 windows. There was space, right? And there was, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 windows. And one ended here. So it's like the whole wall. 1, 2, 3, yeah, it'll be like that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Using the vanishing point, bring it up. There's a thickness. This is the mullions. What's happening? And they get larger because it gets wider, right? And then the windows are gonna. I'm just gonna do this. I want to say these had a frame around them. There you go. Okay, that's the windows there. And then we have this ceiling here area. And I meant, okay, you're the designer. You can design the ceiling however you want to design it. I will say, let's say there is a plant here. Right, maybe there is a plant in this corner. Right, large plant. Maybe there was another one here. These people are all about plants. Biophilia and the design. Right? And the ceiling, I'm going to address this by saying right up above the bed itself, that's the bed here. I'm just going to do this, make this quick, and I'm going to create this right here, here, and up to here. And I'm going to say this is this area right here is an area of the ceiling that has a raised area, right? And you had some interesting, well, here you had lights in this area here. You had some lights here too happening. And maybe there's a nice detail happening here in the ceiling. And I mean, the detail can just be wood members or beams or something light, something coffered to create kind of a more depth in the drawing. Let's say over the bed, underneath the bed, we actually had this rug thing happening here, right? So see how I'm using the side of the pen just to make these light lines, and that's the rug, right? It's an area rug underneath the bed, right? You can put whatever pattern you want on there. But I'm just going to do this just so you can understand a different texture on the floor. And then of course the floor would have its own texture, and this is a wood floor, so I'm just going to create these streaks here. going toward the vanishing point. This is not random, right? I'm just gonna make these nice so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going from here, extending this out, right? And just do these areas so you can see. That's what happens. So if I do this in between, these will be the lines of the planks. And that's kind of the wood floor that you'll see happening there. So let's zoom in on this a little bit so you can see it. If I can make it zoom in. I guess I have to go like this. Even more detailed. There you go. So what you're seeing here is kind of that 1 point quick rapid viz perspective of what this room looks like. Remember, looking at that corner, seeing that wall and that wall, that wall and that wall, and that chair right there. Right. Now, this is not using a grid. This is kind of you visualizing it quickly to understand what you're trying to do with the space as a designer. Of course, you can detail things even more. I did this with my old 2 pen. I can go back with a little thicker pen and start highlighting areas that I want to highlight. I'm going to say that. Let's say I want to highlight more of the bed frame, or this area here. Let's say this. Or you want to highlight more of this edge here, so you have more clarity on how. You begin highlighting those areas, right? Maybe this so you can see, right? And this is kind of the, right? We're gonna see some of those edges. There was all these pillows here that they're getting lost. Right, things begin to pop out. Right, but this should be for a quick sketch for you to understand the space. And really, what I'm trying to draw here, right, is basically, let me get my marker here. Let me get this straight at you. What I'm trying to draw, right, and what I'm going to focus on is, right, this space right here. I don't want to see the vanishing points. I would say it'll probably be this, right, and this here. And then maybe I'll cut it off right here. And right here. That will give us some motion. There you go, like that. That'll be good right there. So technically, that'll be the space that I'm drawing, that I'm focusing on, right, for the perspective. What you see here that I drew in black. Right, that would be what I would want to see. So that's kind of looking at it rapid viz, right, and getting that space developed. Yeah, I know it's not a final drawing. I just want to put this here so you guys can see a little. There's a bottom here. Right. Now, I mean, again, this is a wall. It could be that you have artwork on the wall over here, right? Could be you had another artwork piece over here. Did you see happening? I'm using this vanishing point to bring that out here, right? You could have artwork up here if you want to, right? But it's basically your design, so you're developing this. Look at good examples. As you draw, you're thinking. As you're drawing, you're thinking, guys. All right? So kind of practice the rapid viz, because the next stage, right, is kind of getting a grid and making this look to scale. But the idea is you just spend 15 minutes kind of drawing it out, what you're thinking, and then you can kind of go ahead and begin to detail. Of course, every object that you draw, right, these objects are going to be really detailed based on what your specifications that you draw. But hopefully you get the idea in terms of creating that 2 point quick sketch, rapid viz, looking at this space, right, and having that space reflected here in your rendering. And the next thing is have fun rendering this. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Go practice.